Hey everyone, how's it going? Jenazad here. So this recent Tokyo Game Show, I got the privilege of being able to try the new game Mongil Star Dive by Netmarble. I was a little bit curious about how this game would actually play since I hadn't really been able to try it before, but I'd seen some of the gameplay footage online. So first of all, I went to the booth, which was ridiculously big. They also had another game on display as well, but Mongil Star Dive was the one I was most curious about. They had a giant stage in front, they had some gacha, a bunch of plushy cats and everything, and a nice setup. They had a huge back wall with some of the art of the game, and they had a lot of cosplayers around the entire booth as well. Honestly though, the best part was probably rolling the IRL gacha for this game. You were able to roll a little vending machine and whatever came out, you were able to get. And I got lucky enough to get this big old Nyanner's cat. At one point they also had a cosplay show which I thought looked pretty damn good with all of the different characters on stage, and at the end of the entire event they had like 10 different cosplayers of the same maid girl with a flower over her eye lined up ready for pictures. What I was most curious about is how does the game actually play? So first of all, I would say the game is pretty simple to get into. The story is pretty engaging and it's a very light-hearted type of story. The characters are very goofy and silly and really easy to control at the very start as well. The enemies also are pretty darn goofy and not really taken too seriously either. I'd say the most important character in the entire game though is this cat named Nyanners. This cat is basically the entire mascot of the whole game and probably the nicest to look at. Also, as I was just trying episode 1 of the game, apparently there's an entire second episode planned in the next beta featuring Esteflia Reina and apparently 30 extra entire monsters that you can capture in the next area. There's also apparently going to be some new dungeon content and skills and new ways to upgrade your characters, with a new boss as well. As you can see from the cutscenes though, they look pretty damn good. It's actually pretty surprising. Really dynamic. Characters have a lot of facial expressions, there's a lot of movement, the camera angles are going all over the place. It feels a lot more like watching an anime than really just a normal game.
Looks like you were on the menu, huh?
Quick, I'm being roasted.
These are the two main characters as you can see as well. The main character that's male is really goofy. Female main character is much more of a no-nonsense kind of person. Holy, look at this guy.
What? I'm a year younger than her.
Run, you idiot!
Now this guy is really goofy looking. Even got a little mustache. As you can see from the combat as well, you have a lot of freedom of movement. You got your stamina bar and all those kinds of things. You also got special attack, you got regular attack, and you got your ult as well. You can freely swap between your two characters. Overall, the combat makes a lot of sense, pretty intuitive. Your other character will even tell you when they're ready to swap in with a special attack as it charges up. And you got little Nyanners to do special attacks against some of these enemies. Mostly more of a story thing though. After this guy gets finished off, he loses in a really goofy way. But honestly, I think he's dead. I think he's gone. I don't think he's coming back from this one. Town looks like a classic fantasy town from what I could tell. But it also looks pretty nice where the NPCs actually look like they have some nice different outfits to express themselves.
Hello, adventurers. What can I help you with?
We took down a fork mugger.
Wow, that's very impressive. It must have been hard to track it down.
Well, we had some high-quality bait on our hands.
We had bait? You don't mean me, do you?
I'll mark this one down as complete.
Jeez, you're impossible. Let's go get Nyanners registered.
Now, one of the most important parts of the game is taming monsters, because not only do you have Nyanners the big fat cat, but you also are able to absorb other monsters through Nyanners and then tame them as your own. And then you can equip them in your inventory as sort of like a little charm. They then can be used in combat and also participate in the gameplay with you. Supposedly the game also has some sort of racing minigame, however I wasn't able to get far enough into the demo to try it. However, you can race using the monsters that you've collected, and in the future they should have a bunch of different tracks.
What?
It didn't eat it. Check it out. It's a monsterling.
Quality? Top tier.
Alright, ready to get going? Alright, we're gonna need way more monsterlings.
The combat overall revolves around basic attacks, skill, and dodge attacks from what I could tell. And also obviously you get your ultimates, but it felt like it took a little bit of time to charge them up. Now, I only got to try it a little bit, but I did see a big boss battle where you can swap between 4 different characters while fighting it, being able to use all of their abilities to the full degree. However, I did run out of time of the demo in the middle, so I didn't really get to try it completely, but the controls did feel pretty snappy and pretty good. My only concern might be that there might not be enough complexity between all of the skills, but we'll have to see how it pans out on the actual release.
Stand still. Can you endure this? You can fight me.
He handled it!
Overall, I think Mongil Star Dive seems pretty solid. I think that the gameplay feels really good and snappy and smooth. My only concern is how much depth it might have and how the endgame would maybe play. I'm also really curious what the future of the game has, because I was only able to try some of the early town area, some of the early mobs, and then some early kind of boss. But how will the game be a lot later in the game? Will it add a lot more complexity? Will enemies maybe have really difficult attacks that you have to deal with, and that's where the difficulty of the game comes from? Or does it become a lot more simple with just kind of mashing buttons on the enemy? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm very curious to find out. Overall, I'd say the game's pretty solid. I'm going to be trying it probably in its next beta. If you're interested in pre-registering for Mongil Star Dive or trying to get into the next beta, please use the link below.